Alright, so in this video we're going to show you guys how we prep a snowmobile to put a wrap on it. We've done a few of them now, so we kind of got it all figured out on what we use. Got a heat gun here. Use the heat gun. We're going to take all the old graphics off. Sometimes they're a little stubborn, don't want to come off, depending on the year of the sled too. It might make it a little more difficult. So use a little bit of heat, get it off. And then after that, if there's any residue left, don't have it sitting here, but you'll want to get some Goo Gone probably. That'll help get all of the extra adhesive off. When you're done with that, we always like to spray the whole sled down with alcohol, rubbing alcohol. And that just gets rid of anything else that's on there. And then a couple of the other little things we got these little magnets. We like to stick the wrap on the garage door, use the magnet, stick it on there, and then whatever panels we're working on will be up on the garage door. You get a good view at what panels you got to grab next. A couple different little squeegees help smooth everything out on the new wrap. Got a couple different pads here for them. And then we also got this felt one. This one is flexible, so any spots that have contours on them, you can kind of bend the felt pad towards that. A knife, it's pretty standard. You're going to need that to cut stuff. Sometimes you may have to trim things depending on what you have. In this case, the wrap that we got for this sled is for a 146 tunnel, so the tunnel we are going to have to cut a little bit probably because this sled is only a 137, but we'll figure that out. And then sometimes this little plastic scraper comes in handy. It won't scratch anything and it'll help get off a little bit of the adhesive. And then coming to the sled too, you're going to want to look and see if there's any little burrs or anything where the sled's been scratched. If you're buying a used sled or wrapping a used sled, you might want to take just either a knife or a little piece of sandpaper or whatever. Yeah, see, like something like that might show through the wrap. So you might want to take a little piece of sandpaper or a knife, whatever. Just cut that off, kind of round it out as nice as you can. Probably won't see it, but just want to make sure. And if you can see here, there's a little bit of adhesive, and you know, it could be grease, whatever. And especially putting the alcohol on there, if somebody has put like a wax or some kind of other car care product on the sled, you're going to want to make sure you get all that off, and the alcohol is going to definitely help get all that stuff off for you guys, because you don't want to spend all this money on a wrap and it not stick. So prep work is definitely the most important part of doing a wrap, and we'll bring you along for the ride on how we do it. May not be what everybody else does, but that's how we like to do it. Alright, and another thing that we like to do is we got ourselves 3 5-gallon pails. We put lids on them, and we just like to lift the sled up. We just like to lift the sled up, put the sled up on the buckets. They're strong enough to hold the sled, and it gets the sled up to a nice height. We got a couple of wheelie chairs there so we can kind of wheel around the sled, and it just, instead of hunched over trying to work on things, everything's at a nice height for you. Makes it a hell of a lot easier to try and work on these things.
And you don't have to worry about the strength of the buckets, because this is a Sidewinder and they're about a 600-pound sled, so they're plenty strong.
Alright, so we're just going to remove the windshield here. Just make it easier to clean things, and I'm not sure if the wrap's going to get into there or not, but we'll just remove it anyways, get it out of the way, make things easier on ourselves.
Put some time in and make a couple different ones, but on a day I have more time.
Oh, it's got the premium audio too, Alpine, and it fucking bangs. It's about, I think it's a factory 10-inch sub.
So look at this.
The rear seat.
You just warm up the sticker a little bit, and then it just comes right off.
Fuck yeah. There isn't even any residue left.
Okay, so that's this side finished up. When we use the heat gun, we have just a little bit of residue here from a sticker we peeled without it, and only like 2 or 3 stickers left some residue here. So we're just gonna get in some alcohol, a little bit of Goo Gone, and we're gonna clean this up really nicely. We're gonna take all the fingerprints off of it, and then that will be this side prepped for the wrap. And we're gonna go ahead and do the other side, but that'll be done off of.
Okay, so we got our rubbing alcohol here and a microfiber. Just gonna spray it all over it, let it sit there for 10 seconds or whatever, and wipe it off. If there's any adhesive left on the sled, then we'll have to come back with some Goo Gone and get it all off, and then put some more rubbing alcohol on it. So we got the sled all cleaned up here. Sprayed it down with rubbing alcohol. We're just gonna let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes. Make sure all the alcohol has evaporated. Get it all off there, and then we can start putting on the wrap. And so if you have like a Ski-Doo or whatever, and you have link brackets back here, you might want to take those off. Probably make things easier. Sometimes even the bumpers.
Tunnel bag.
Take the bumpers off. This sled, we're going to take the tunnel bag off. Just makes things easier. Sometimes it's harder to look at all the wrap and whatever. Just take everything off you think might be in the way. Get it all out of there.
Windshield as well. We took the windshield off so we can get the pieces of wrap in here.
Just make things easier on yourself, and then you don't got to worry about trying to deal with it later. After everything's all nice and clean. And
we haven't cleaned back here yet. We're gonna wrap the front first, but that's where we're focused. It is a full sled wrap, but you guys are gonna make sure you want to clean all this out too. So like you see, there's dirt and stuff we haven't cleaned here. Versus if you come up here to the tunnel, or sorry, the body, all that dirt, all that's gone. All the staining from the stickers is pretty well gone. There's a little bit there that doesn't come out, but for the most part, it's all come out. And this is what you want it to look like when you're done, versus if you peel a sticker and then you have that, your wrap's not going to stick very well. So you have to cover everything in alcohol and then clean it nicely.